Hello, welcome back to Tsui no Sora. We're doing the third episode today, and I do wonder what we're going to be covering because last time we were looking at a lot of the aftermath of the death of Zakuro, just people's immediate reactions towards the death. Some very interesting and thought-provoking comments were made, and I think especially the ones that were really quite interesting were just the ones that were showing the true way in which people perceive disasters like these and how just the really, really unusual thought of the fact that it could potentially also be perceived as salvation. And it was just I like it when things do this. They offer such contradictions and such odd things to contemplate that obviously it's really, really unusual just to think about it, and you have to really, really imagine another perspective in order to fully grasp what's being said. And that's why I think this is good. I do wonder what we're going to be covering today. I mean, around now is the time. So what actually happens around now in Tsubahibi? I mean, maybe we're going to meet Takuji soon, and obviously Takuji's cult is going to develop. Now, I actually found something really odd. I forgot what the exact name is. Oh, wait, no, I remembered it. So it's called Aum Shindi Kyo, and what's really funny about that is it's basically a terrorist religion that they had used sarin attacks on public railways multiple times, and they had gained lots of followers, and the reason their followings had been present was because of the fact that they believed the end of the world was going to happen and a big catastrophe was going to occur that wiped out humankind, and they kill people so that they can save them from the suffering of the world that is about to unfold. Yeah. Does it sound like anything in, I don't know, Tsubahibi maybe? It was really interesting that that context is so relevant to everything that is going on. And if I'm going to be honest, I've heard that Tsubahibi was based on a few real cases. I haven't looked into it much yet because I want to do that once I've finished Tsui no Sora as well. But yeah, it's fucking cool if that's one of the cases that it's based on. It really is. It's just, I mean, obviously it's not cool. Something like that is totally sick, but it's just creative to see a reimagination of it. I'm not saying I support the case whatsoever, by the way. Can I just mention that? I think it's fucking wrong. Anyway, let's just get a little bit of context. I won't read too much. But yeah, we were talking to Yasuko. She was really paranoid. I wonder if she's going to be converted by Takuji or not. If Takuji becomes the saviour, that is. Yeah, no, I like that. And I just think it's really funny that with these people, they're really scared, and then you offer them a single rational perspective, and then they just realise how ridiculous everything that they are thinking of is. Yeah, I like that, yeah. Yeah. And ironically, maybe they could be calm because of the fact that they are infected with other people's emotions. A really good example, I get that this is a morbid case, but Zakuro from Looking Glass Insects, I mean, she's not necessarily calm, but at the same time, she can feel like she has a way to explain her trauma and just, in general, well, go away from reality. And that's kind of like an infection from Usami and Ayumi's thoughts. Mainly Usami. Ayumi doesn't really talk whatsoever. I don't blame her. She's totally ruined from what happened to her. I don't necessarily know what happened to Usami. It was implied, but it was never explicitly shown to us. I do wonder if we're going to see any of Usami and Ayumi here. Yeah, totally. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that's really interesting. If one person says something bad about said politician, because obviously their reputation is very, very important to them, well, everything could be made more inconvenient for them and maybe even threatening to their lives. Who knows? Or maybe just anything, really. It's interesting, that. Yeah, fair. It is insecure, totally. But then again, I mean, it does make sense. I mean, somebody suicided and nobody is knowledgeable. They're using things that can't be explained by human beings and ironically can't be put into words. They can't really be reasoned. I mean, I don't really get how you would reason a prophecy, for example. How would you be able to say the nature of the prophecy without just straight up denying it and just saying, oh, wow, it's coincidental? I mean, if you believe a prophecy, how do you actually put into words how it was predicted while also making sense and fitting in with reality? Yeah. Hey, who's? For just an instant, I see a figure standing in a very unusual spot. Oh shit, hi Takuji! Someone's at the unused old pool. Why? I'm overcome with a weird feeling of anxiety as I look at them. Oh shit, I accidentally pressed F12. I was just trying to up my volume. Have I got the virus? I can see why he'd think that, yeah, just because of the fact that whenever he looks at somebody, he just feels unease. It is interesting that you think of emotions like a virus, but it totally makes sense. It's very, very... I like this. It logically plays out very well, and I can totally imagine it. Yeah, totally. Yeah, but that's totally reasonable. But I think I like this. Yeah. But it does make sense that he can be, because let's be honest, things like these, they are things that affect atmospheres. If the atmosphere of a place you're in is worse, you're just naturally going to feel worse. But then again, I find it interesting that even subconsciously, he's just feeling more fear at things that maybe need not be feared. But I think this is actually something that needs to be feared, and he's just brushing it off because of the fact that the incident has happened. Oh god! I head for the figure. Oh, here we go. There he stands. Very unusual music here. Mamiya? またここにいるのか? なんでお前はこんな場所にいる? 使われてないプールだぞ. Mamiya, here again. What are you doing here anyway? It's just an unused pool. Yeah, just a little bit of change in personality. Okay then. もしかしたらわかるかもしれないね。俺ならわかる。何がだ？だが、君に挨拶はしないよ。あ、挨拶？なぜならば、僕の前に立つ人間が本物であるかどうかを見極めなければならないんだ。本物かどうかって何の話だ？だから。僕からは挨拶しないよ。挨拶って。This is really unusual. 今はね、ちょうど三角なんだよ。三角？そうだよ。今の状態はまさに三角形なんだよ。二人しかいないのに、なんで三角状態になるんだよ。そう、そこだよ。二点であるものは本来なら直線上に結ばれることになるはずだ。ただしそれは幾何学的空間と時間においてでしかないんだ。 Yeah, he's speaking in very, very weird ways that feel like they are not similar to how somebody with a grasp of the real world would be speaking. I do find it very unusual to think about the fact that you can just totally see how, how his paranoia is hinted at here. Yeah, you don't even know whether Yukito here is the genuine Yukito or not. And because of the fact that he doesn't know, and this person could possibly be an imposter of the person that he has seen here before, he doesn't think that Yukito deserves a greeting, even if there is a possibility that he is not the imposter. Yeah. So there are only two people, and yet at the same time it feels like there is a triangle that describes the current situation. Does that potentially imply that Takuji has the delusions of somebody that he can see at the moment? Maybe he sees three, well, maybe there are three people in total to his view? I don't know. Jesus, look at his eyes. Oh my god. I just find it really quite funny to think about the fact that he's not even talking to Yukito here. Mamiya, can I just ask? What? This is really unusual. Yep, you can definitely see that whatever has happened here, I mean, it's an obvious indication of the fact that Takuji is very close to Zakuro, just because of how much he has changed as a result of her death. What? Okay then. Yeah, seriously, the hell is up with him? Yeah, fully fair enough. I mean, firstly, your thoughts are very, very, very unusual, and then you were just entirely saying your thoughts to a random stranger that you don't even know, because you're thinking that they really will be able to understand a single word that's being said. Crazy, doesn't even begin to describe it. Yeah, seriously, it was just like a lecture, if anything. It wasn't a conversation whatsoever. A lecture for Takuji's madness. Oh, no, that's a very good point. Yeah, because of the fact that he could potentially be the person who has caused it. Who knows? I mean, he wasn't really the person that caused it, but... Oh, wait, what? Is it Ayana? Who is it? I'm actually really quite surprised that he can see Ayana from that distance. Wow. That's going to be really quite something, and I really do wonder if Ayana is going to be able to give us any insight into what just happened with Takuji. So I think the most significant things about that conversation were the fact that he was referring to triangles and quadrilaterals, and so the situation can be described as a triangle. It's very ambiguous because what's being said here is just claims are being made that there's not really much effort that has been gone through in order to justify those claims. So you have to really think outside the box, I suppose. Yes, geometrical space says that these 2 points are meant to be connected in a straight line. What? So if it's not geometrical and not something that can be represented within the physical world, could it possibly be the metaphysical world? Metaphorical stuff as well, maybe? I don't know. Well, I mean, then again, if it's not a line, which it should be, then is there another existence? It's really unusual, just the fact that he's talking to nobody here, or nobody that we can see. That's really unusual. So somebody coming makes it so that the center... Somebody comes and as a result of them coming to the place that Takuji is in, maybe they are so important that they become the center of everything that a sphere is made. I don't know. But then again, I mean, you've gone from a quadrilateral and a triangle, i.e. 2D shapes, to then talking about 3D shapes. But then again, I mean, he said it wasn't a geometry-related problem, but I just don't really understand where the origin of something like this is. And maybe a sphere could also symbolize infinity? Yeah, no. If anything, it kind of reminds me of Nostradamus' prophecies in a way. They're so up to interpretation that can you really form an accurate basis for what the answer is? Standing there is one otonashi ayana. That's such weird wording. What, so there's gonna be another otonashi ayana potentially? Why don't you just say otonashi ayana? What is the point of saying one?
お前またこんなところにいたのか？うん。空を見ているのか？うん。
What the fuck? Okay. That was just a little bit weird. He is fully sane. I don't believe that was a delusion. And that's the weirdest thing. He's not telling her. That's a really bad idea. But then again, I mean, I kind of get the impression that by not telling Ayana, he's avoiding the possibility of Ayana going into a tangent and obviously becoming really creepy as a result. So I suppose he's avoiding the potential just for everything to become very weird, which I don't blame him. I might do the same. Now, if I'm going to be honest, I think if I was in a conversation with a person like this, I'd just talk to them. I wouldn't even talk to them because I'd like talking to them. I'd just talk to them for curiosity. Like, genuinely, I would never be able to meet such an unusual person. Ever again, I feel. Interesting that she seems dejected. the sky beyond the end sky or the sky of the present?
私が見ていたのは対の空。
Oh, okay, so is it just the fact that... Hang on a second, he said Tsui no Sora.
いや、お前が見てたのってまた対の空とかいうやつ？
Yeah.
私が見ていたのは対の空。
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah, I thought so.
それだったら同じだろ。
Yeah, but the only thing is the romanizations and the translations are different. Maybe in the Japanese version as well, the kanji is different.
ほら、あそこで走っている。
Oh my god, that's Takuji.
え？
Or is this going to be the conversation about the fact that shadows can only be seen and... Oh, I love that. I love the higher dimension related stuff that was in Down the Rabbit Hole too, because it feels like there is a thing that is never going to be understood, that cannot possibly be understood by a person like you. Yuki is a personality, she's not even a human being. And obviously she will never be able to see the true picture of what is going on with her, because obviously she's the one in the world of delusions. Obviously this isn't the Minakami Yuki that Tomosane knows, it's the other one that is just a complete mockery of her. She points over at the school gate. Is it Takuji or what? Yeah. Takuji shit talking session, let's go.
僕は実にソーセージにして神より生まれたる聖戦なり。
Okay, maybe not. What the fuck is this? How is it relevant? What? The 6 twin pairs are called Arsis, children of gods.
6? ソーセージ？
Yeah, fair enough. Also 6 days made that were required in order for God to make the world, maybe? And I suppose 6 as in chapter 6, which dreamed it. Yeah, I don't know what it means.
なんだよそれ。
祖は老朽に陥ることなければ、子供らは太陽よ、対をなしてその上に立てり。
700 suns and 20 stand. What?
対をなしてその上に立つ。その死って
謎の死。
謎の？
それよりも、ユキト君は彼を追わなくていいの？
なぜ？
Yeah, why?
それはあなたが水上ユキトだから。
なんで俺だから追わなきゃいけないんだよ。
Oh my god, look at her eyes. That was not what I was expecting.
連れ立つともなる2羽のわしは同一の気を抱けり。
What?
くそ。なんで間宮拓司なんかを。
That's unusual.
おい、間宮！
That really is odd. Wait, hang on a second. I just want to see... I don't know the context of this, so... I just want to see if I can find anything about this. What happens if I mute the audio, by the way? Oh, okay, it still plays. Yeah, I don't really want to listen to this music, so I'll just leave it on the video and I'll just mute my audio. I think that's the best solution. Right, so it says the Hymn of Mystery. What is the Hymn of Mystery? Wait, okay, I couldn't really find anything. Let's search a line up on Google. Oh wait, hang on a second. I think I might have found something. Is this a Bible verse? I've just found a very weird website. Like a seriously weird website. What even is this? Some sort of... well, I couldn't really find much. Let's see. See what anything comes up, maybe? The Parable of Two Birds. What is this? Oh, another very weird website. Oh yeah, I see two. Okay. Yeah, this is a proper hymn. It looks very religious, whatever this is. Buy this book at Amazon.com. The Rig Veda. Primary text of Hinduism. And that's actually really quite interesting because when looking at the harmonizer, the creator and the destroyer, it does have Hindu roots, so... Go evil with the universe. Most ancient religious texts in existence and rituals from ancient India. Okay, right. Is there going to be an analysis? Can I search for that? Whatever this is, it's really niche, it feels like. Oh, yeah. Oh, I actually found an analysis, but it looks really long. Okay, then again, I don't really know if it matters where it comes from. I think it might be more important just in general what is going on and what the dialogue means. Let's see if I can find an answer. Or at least try. Let's be honest, it's Ayana. I should expect just a probability of not getting the right answer. Because, let's be honest, we always can't find the answers for these things. Yeah, and it is interesting to think about the fact that even though Tsui no Sora is said exactly the same in Japanese, Ayana feels it's different, and maybe that could mean the kanji is different. But at the same time, what I find very weird is the fact that kanji being different from what somebody, like the kanji Yukito was thinking of when he was saying Tsui no Sora and the kanji Ayana was thinking of are different. But my question is, how can that ever be realised? And could that be evidence of the fact that maybe Tsui no Sora is scripted and Ayana is the person reading the script? That is, if it obviously follows the theory of the reincarnation of the soul of Ayana. But I don't know. Or maybe I'm just really looking into this too much, but I'm not sure. Or just could it be something that contributes to the theory of the story entirely being Ayana's and completely in her control? Yeah, it's very weird. I do wonder where he'd heard that sentence, though. What is O Agni? Dude, I didn't fucking search that. The bright being. Oh, that's odd. Agni is the Hindu god of fire. What does the god do? Oh, right, I see how this might be relevant. Consider the mouth of the gods and goddesses and the medium that conveys offering to them in a votive ritual. If anything, it kind of reminds me of Takuji. Unusual. But it kind of sounds like people invoking a god, and it sounds like, I suppose this is kind of relevant because of the fact that there are 6 days left, and in those 6 days they are invoking a god who is going to, well, they're not going to be able to do any reasoning by themselves. The people who are joining Takuji's cult, they are all followed by, they always are. All of their decisions are influenced by the decisions God makes, or like the God that leads them makes. Why is this relevant though? Because I don't believe that Takuji is Yukito. I don't. Genuinely, if he is, that's shocking. And we are being totally lied to. Yeah, but the only thing that's so weird, I mean, they have found a refuge in the same sheltering tree, and that kind of implies that maybe they're the same person? But the only thing is, why do they have bonds of friendship? These people don't even know each other. I don't really understand it, to be honest. It's really unusual where these passages and recitals come from. Yeah, and it's very bad whatever it is. Hey, Mamiya. Ah, so you've come here too. Tell me, have you been studying reason?
魂は体には宿らないんだよ。だから僕みたいに断りを学ばなければならないんだ。
But if it doesn't reside in the body, where does it reside? What?
なんだ？俺には魂がないみたいな言い方だな。
If you do have a soul, where is it?
そうだよ。確かに君の体は賢い。賢い体と魂は区別がつかないんだ。精巧に作られた自動機械は自らに魂があると錯覚してしまう。
What is automata? Oh. Oh my god, that's interesting. A moving mechanical device made in imitation of a human being. That's really interesting. The body and soul are indistinguishable, and the people who are made well and who are clever and who use everything that they have in life to their utmost are bodies that possess a soul.
機械どういう意味だ俺がアンドロイドかなんかだと言いたいのかよ
いいよだよ。君はアンドロイドじゃない。だけれども、タンパク質であるという以外は大した違いはないかもしれないね。ただの肉だって考えられるのだからさ。
But then again, I mean, okay, fair that this could be something that's argued, but at the same time, I mean, where is the soul if it's not in the body? That's so weird.
だけれども、考えることと魂があることは違う。霊的自動機械であるということは、タンパク質であるという必然性ではないんだよ。
意味がわからねえ。
魂を得ていないからさ。君は魂が宿っていると錯覚している体なんだよ。けど安心していい。
Oh, yeah, he's talking to people as if they are totally less than him. Classic Takuji. That's really unusual. But that's really odd to think about that. If people don't have a soul, how is it the case that... Well, then again, I mean, I suppose if you don't have a soul, you can justify thought maybe just by cause and effect. I suppose you could think all of the biological causes make it so that your brain think a particular way. But then again, how do emotions happen? It does kind of make sense. But then again, I mean, I think I kind of just found an answer that I like the sound of. I mean, you don't have a soul, so you just think that... You just think about the scientific way of... You just think about the scientific way of representing emotions, representing stuff like this, and I suppose it makes sense. Yeah, because you could think that all of your emotions are caused by science and processes that are occurring in the brain, hormone transmission, nerve transmission, stuff like that. I meant nervous impulse transmission. But those things could be the things that cause the thoughts that people would then attribute to having a soul. So maybe people don't have a soul for that reason, and these people were just ones who think they are things that are special, whereas in reality they're not, maybe. And we try to assign individuality to ourselves. I don't know, it's a bit odd.
ちょうど電卓の計算が僕よりも早いように、君の体は僕の断りすら及ばない認識に至ることもあるかもしれない。だが断りを学ばなければ僕のように悟れないよ。悟れなければそれ以上の認識など想像すらできないよ。
Interesting.
断りによって動き出せば、すでにそこには思考はいらず、君の精神は一定の法則に従って活動する、いわば霊的自動機械になるだろう。その時こそ、精神自身が最果ての地に帰るんだ。
So you don't need thought if you act for reason, and if you don't imagine the human perspective that you are nothing but flesh and a soul isn't actually something that exists. But then again, I mean, I really do wonder if the soul doesn't exist, and Is that... How much is that saying that emotions don't exist? Because... I suppose if a soul doesn't exist, could somebody's emotions still exist? Or maybe the emotions could exist and it's just the fact that the soul is a means of explaining said emotions. I kind of like this now because it reminds me of Takuji's discussions about death in Down the Rabbit Hole 2. It's just kind of like saying that I suppose maybe people are born with the truth that they don't have a soul and they are cursed to that truth. But then human beings influence them to think that they do have a soul and they do have individuality. And maybe this could then be used to justify the collective unconsciousness. If people have no souls and they are just products that are very similar to each other and they have the same makeup. All of the people. But the only thing is, what is a soul if we don't have souls at the moment? What the f... Dude, what? What? That's weird. What? I think that might mean that Yukito and Takuji are the same person. What? I mean, it just feels so unlikely. Oh, okay, never mind. So there is actually a reasonable explanation for this, that makes sense. Hey, wait. Yeah, no, it could be. Especially, I feel like the reason, I remember him saying about being totally infected by emotions, it really makes sense when you consider just how tricky everything must be, and then talking to people who are fucking insane and just giving you a really scary view on your life. I mean, you're stressed. What do you need more? To be doubting the whole nature of your existence? Yeah, but it is interesting what he was saying about enlightenment, which I find very unusual. Yeah, but it is interesting that Takuji... I like that. Takuji is in a level of understanding that his reason can't contemplate. And that does kind of make sense when you think about the fact that he's delusional. I mean, his reasoning, because of the fact that he's delusional, cannot contemplate the level of understanding that his body has reached, maybe. It's unusual.
しょ。
Yeah, no, to be fair, I don't blame Yukito for being worked up whatsoever. I really don't. Oh my god. Oh shit, that's really weird. Well, then again, maybe he could have been here before, but why? Yeah, they've got to be.
この数式がわかるかな。
数式って。ただの落書きだろ。
Oh my god, the second you say something that could potentially interfere with his delusions, he's just totally wanting to refute it.
落ち着いて。今は四角形の理論を書いているんだ。非常に難しい理論なんだよ。
四角の理論だと。
Oh, that's weird.
俺にはアニメか何かの絵に見えるけど。
そうだよ。よくわかったね。これは2次元と3次元の比喩的論法なんだよ。
That's really odd to think about the fact that he's genuinely accepting what Yukito's saying.
下手くそなアニメが2次元と3次元の比喩だと。
Oh, but now he's gonna kill you.
そう、少しは分かってきたみたいだね。アニメの語源はアニメーション。つまり四角いディスプレイという意味から派生しているんだ。
Yeah.
いや違うだろう。ラテン語だかのアニマが語源で生命を吹き込むだろう。
確かにディスプレイは四角い。
He doesn't even listen to what Yukito's saying. That's hilarious. It's as if he doesn't even exist.
最終式の証明が終わる。
I mean, then again, a triangle it could possibly just be a half of a square if it's a right angle triangle, so maybe you could say they're the same thing? Well, not really the same thing, but very similar.
最終式。
なんてことだ。できたぞ。水上くん、君はこれを理解してもいいよ。
This really, really is.
何をどう理解すればいいんだよ。
Yeah,
そ
seriously.
れは君次第じゃないか。んじゃ、僕はもう行くよ。
Yeah, and I find it interesting to think about the fact that Takuji is always thinking that this desire to ascend to higher consciousness and are supposed to be somebody who, even though their spirit is like an automaton, they're not confined with the restrictions of humanity because they believe that they have souls and are individuals. But with this enlightenment, what does it even mean if somebody is enlightened? That's the thing that's so unusual. Yeah. It's so unusual how he is deriving meaning from literal scribbles and obviously anime characters as well. Riruru is what I'd think when thinking of stuff like this.
Oi, Mamiya!
では、
Bye. Mamiya leaves the classroom. I immediately give chase. Oh shit, what's gonna happen? Has he hidden or what? Yeah. Oh my god, hang on a second. He's literally jumped from the window. What? It's nothing. Mami Akun just jumped off. Moment. Oh my god.
窓から逃げたのか。
Wow. Jesus Christ, this guy has a death wish. Well, then again, I mean, he's very, very deluded now, so it doesn't surprise me whatsoever. But isn't it interesting to think about the quadrilateral theory that he's saying? And I suppose he's thinking that anime girls, they are made out of what the display is made out of. So they could be made out of triangles, but they could also be made out of squares, which I think does actually make sense. So I think the theory about there being a quadrilateral, there are two people there, but at the same time, because of the fact that he sees Riruru as well, maybe there are four, sorry, I meant three. But because of the fact that she is made out of quadrilaterals, there, I don't know, there could be 4 points. I don't know. I don't really get it much, to be honest. No, I can totally see this. But the weirdest thing is, I mean, this guy is genuinely feeling as if he's doing good in the world. He feels as if he is helping Yukito to his path of enlightenment. Yeah, you shouldn't follow him. It's just bad. Yeah, and you're stressed. Yeah, I don't blame you. Both. Both. And so driven by fear. I just find it really interesting that Yukito totally has the subconscious realization of the fact that he is fully thinking about the fact that he's fully thinking about the fact that fear is contagious, and yet at the same time, even instinctively, just subconsciously, he is doing things that are driven by curiosity that has stemmed from fear. Ayana's gone. Interesting. Oh, Kotomi's here now. I wonder... I mean, obviously she's making us wait for her. Maybe that's what she's apologetic about? So if you ask me, everything that Ayana was saying was just a little indication of the fact that Takuji is going to be the god that all of the, I don't know, 700 men and 20... Oh, I forgot. Let's just say the 700. Wait, what was it again? Oh, good. We have Ayana's dialogue here. Yeah, 700 sons and 20 stan. Yeah, maybe they could be the people that are... just a little analogy for the people that are being completely converted because of Takuji.
何が?
待っている時間退屈でしょ?
いや、別に。
けど、どうしたのユキト? なんか
Yeah, you're right to ask.
なあ、少し考え事をしてた。
Well, they're the same thing, to be honest.
ぼーっとしてるんじゃなくて、考え事してんだよ。
I wonder if he's going to tell Kotomi about everything that has gone on.
Yokoyama Yasuko.
Oh, about Yasuko, yeah. You know Yokoyama Yasuko, right?
剣道部の後輩だね。
Yes, he's a junior at the Kendo Club.
どんなやつだ?
なんでそんなこと聞くの?
いや、あと6日間で世界が終わるかどうか聞かれて。
そういえばそんな話やすこちゃんしてた。
部活出てたんだろ? どうだった?
普通だったかな。 でも着替えの時の雰囲気がいつもと違ったけど、
いつもと違う？
なんか彼女らしくなかった。
Yeah, she's really, really threatened by this. Even though she has gone to club and I thought that everything was reassured that she was troubled about.
不安定だな。
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Maybe it's hard for her to process. Yeah.
あのさ、ユキと
なんだ？
世界は終わらないんだよね。
Oh my god, even she's asking it. What?
当たり前だ。
当たり前だよね。そんな当たり前が
Yeah. Yeah, no, I can see that, but that's just rumours escalating. It really is just rumours escalating. It is. It is totally happening,
明日は朝
though.
練があるんだ。だからさ、明日迎えに来れないんだよ。遅刻しちゃダメだから。
Oh, he's not going to sleep in, or at least I hope not.
ああ、分かってるよ。
本当に分かってるのかな。
お前が来ないからゆっくり寝れるってことだろ。
These people's voices are so fucking loud. It's actually really quite annoying.
違う。ちゃんと起きるんだぞ。
冗談だよ。
本当分かってるのかな。
No, he isn't.
分かってるよ。
I'll see it when I believe it. Other way round, but I'll believe it when I see it. If I see it, I'll believe it.
そう。ならよろしいでしょう。
That's sweet. I hope her training goes well.
じゃあね。
Kotomi's just one of the characters in visual novels that you just respect. And she's really, really nice as well.
ああ。
Oh, that was a sudden turn. My god, what a... It feels like it's such a sudden turn in atmosphere that it just feels like you are being jump scared. Yeah, no, totally. We're scared. Kotomi is scared and I am too. We're all anxious. Yeah. Yeah, that's odd. That's interesting. Oh, 15th now. No scary audio. What? I knew it. He's so fucking lazy. It's hilarious. How is this guy top of the class in maths? This guy doesn't even study whatsoever. Well, no, not sorry. Not meaning he doesn't study. He doesn't even get to class on time. He does actually study, but he doesn't get to class on time. What the fuck is the point of studying at home if you don't get to class on time? Like, serious question. What is the point? Yes, you just totally deny the fact that the world is something that has the possibility to end, sure. And obviously, you have no fear as a result of it because you just feel that something you thought as a kid, it's ridiculous to think when you're older and more mature. So you're not anxious about the world's end, but you're anxious about the fact that it doesn't end. Because of the fact that eternity happens and your death in the grand scheme of things means nothing. Just within the space of infinity. Like, for example, in It's My Own Invention, how Ayana justifies infinity. Meaning, meaninglessness for people's lives. I really just said meaning and then meaninglessness right next to each other in a sentence. That's hilarious. That wasn't even intentional as well. I think that's the best thing about that. Yeah, I like that. So the reason the world is unending means that everything you know coming to an end might not be the thing that's frightening, but it's more a case of what you know having the possibility to cease to exist and life as you know it changing. It's a really weird paradox, but yeah. Yeah, so even though you have desire for what? You're anxious about the fact that the world doesn't end rather than the fact that it will end. Yeah, and the world itself is frightening. That does make sense. It's impossible to deny that the reason people were scared... Yeah, that kind of makes sense. The reason people were scared of the world ending is because of the fact that they are scared of the world as it is. And I suppose because of the fact that people believe that the world is unending, seeing the belief that the world is ending and how that contrasts, that gives people fear, I'd assume. Yeah. Yeah, that's really odd. Yeah, I suppose it's interesting to think about the fact that, I mean, I suppose in the analogy of fearing the end of the world and not fearing the end of the world, you think you fear the end of the world, but what in reality is being feared is the never-ending daily lives, and the fact that, I suppose what you're fearing is so unrealistic that it obviously... No, actually... No, what you're fearing is really unrealistic because of the never-ending nature of people's lives. So having a reason, or something that will contradict the nature, or contradict the belief of the fact that your life is endless until you die. Well, I suppose it contradicts that belief, and it's scary because of the fact that the predetermined belief you had of the fact that you were going to fully live is being threatened. So I suppose you fear your life because of the fact that the end of the world is preventing it from living? I don't know, I find this really confusing if I'm going to be honest, but it does kind of make sense. I mean, it kind of makes sense to me when you think about the life and death being the same side of the coin, because... Well, I suppose you fear death, you fear dying, but at the same time you also, as a result of fearing dying, fear the life that you were going to have to live when you were near that part of it that is ending. So I suppose fearing death is also like fearing life itself, because of the fact that you are fearing that it can end. And I suppose it's kind of similar when you think about the world ending. You're fearing the never-ending nature of the world because I suppose reality is you've known it, and reality as it should be in your head is being threatened. It's a bit weird, this, it really is. It's so weird that people greet fear with hope in their hearts. Yeah. I'm late as ever.
コンビニの店員め、ちんたらレジやる
Wage
得しそうじゃねえ
slave?
か。
What? Wait, what? Oh my god, what a hilarious insult, a wage slave. I'm gonna be late because he was so slow with... You ordered breakfast because Kotomi couldn't make it. Dude, just have fucking fruits or chocolate or just anything in your fridge. Why do you need to order breakfast? How useless is this guy? Oh my god, it's like he's become elderly. Okay, no. Oh, I've just... No offense if you can't actually... If you don't actually make breakfast yourself, but... Yeah. I mean, how can you be this independable, though? Sorry, how can you be this independent... Sorry, this dependent on others? Oh my god, that's hilarious to think about the fact that he wouldn't have been late if it wasn't for this quote-unquote wage slave. So I think, finally, what I think with regards to the endless nature of the world, they're two sides of the same coin, because by fearing by the end of the world being something that is very intimidating to you, you are fearing the life that you know that has always been endless, and obviously you're fearing the possibility that that's not true. But then again, it is interesting, hope and desire. I suppose hope for the end of the world not to be present, but what about desire? It's so weird that. Yeah, so you're scared about the fact that the world is not going to end. I suppose the world that is frightening is something you're going to have to eternally be in, no matter how cruelly the world treats you. Yeah, totally. Yeah, I kind of like that. So if that contrast that really defines them makes it so that it's something that can't exist, sure, you can feel scared. But they are, I mean, then again, I suppose an existence for somebody is only endless until they die. Like, when they are alive, it feels like it's endless, but obviously when they die, it is objectively going to end. Like, I mean, for example, for me, like my entirety of my life, nearly 18 years, that's the eternity that I've lived in. But at the same time, you know that it's going to end someday. So, I mean, even though it's endless for me now, it won't always be endless. But how is it endless then? It's a very weird question. So when that contrast goes away from a contrast into the same thing, that's when people get scared. Yeah, and we're afraid of the absurdity of our lives because of the fact that we can imagine it ending, I suppose. And because of the fact that you can imagine something that you have been in, i.e. the world, for such a long time. You've been in the world for such a long time, so I suppose the thought of it ending is the thing that's scary, and then I suppose it's a reflection of how absurd our lives are, because we actually have to think about something like that. Yeah. Yeah, hope with, well, I suppose hope with change, really. Well, I'm sorry, but when Kotomi learns just how dependent Yukito is on her, no, it won't. Yeah, yeah, seriously, yeah. No way it will. Oh, I'm genuinely impressed if you just made it. Oh, who gives a shit? Yeah, I like that. Well, I am late for homeroom, but doesn't give me any credits, don't care. Reasonable. And then that can kind of be used to justify what he was saying just up here as well, I suppose. The absurdity of life and it ending. If your life is valuable, you will be scared about the fact that an end to a life and existence. But to be fair, they have always been the same side of the coin, really, because all existences must end and an end is inevitable. If it wasn't inevitable and a state of living, every living thing has to die. But if it was the case that it wasn't the case that every living thing had to die, and I don't know, for example, if you play Toho, the Hordai elixir was just casually available in everything. It wouldn't be, because you could control whether life was on the same side of death. But I suppose it's always been the case. It's just now people are having beliefs that are reinforced. I don't know, I'm just really thought dumping here. I don't actually know if anything of what I'm saying is making sense or not, but I'm kind of trying to understand this in my own way. If I'm going to be honest, I don't understand this at all, but yeah, I'm trying my best, okay? Oh shit. Right. That's not very good. Why are there two lines? Just at the top and bottom. Oh god, this actually reminds me of the scene of Takuji and Kagami. While thinking, I calmly opened the door to the classroom. And am met with shouts with two familiar voices. So Takuji is going to be a psychopath here. What the hell? Kotomi and Mami are arguing. Yeah, totally. Yeah. No, totally reasonable. Not something I ever could have imagined. Oh god, here we go. Oh, I didn't expect that to hear the opening theme. Of course, I'm deafened because this visual novel has literally no volume balancing, it feels, and if I'm going to be honest, it pissed me off. Jesus Christ, he must have been really unpleasant for Kotomi to say something like that. Fucking hell. You're a deranged man. How can you call anybody foolish? What? He's calling him a lightweight. Oh my god, that's hilarious. I love that. Oh yeah. He's promoting his beliefs, totally. Who's going to believe him? I wonder if Yukito's going to save the situation here. Hey, hang on, both of you, calm down for a second. The fuck is going on with her eyes? What? Or is she just really confused? What the genuine fuck? You are fucking weird. Oh god, using his own beliefs in order to go against him, which is unusual because he's never actually told anybody about the beliefs. Odd. Yeah, this is a moment where somebody should say, shut the fuck up.
いや、琴美とは付き合ってるわけじゃないのだが、そうだし。
Oh god, now she's gonna get pissed off.
否定するのそこか、そこじゃないよね。
Yeah, she has a really good point.
いや、とりあえず落ち着けってばさ。
落ち着いています。というか今の発言。
ああ。だったら琴美とは付き合ってる。それでいいんだな。
That's still not the issue.
お付き合いとかの話じゃなくて。
そうなの？付き合っていると思ってた。
そんなことないって。
Oh god, she's really confused. I feel bad.
そんなんじゃなくて、単に幼馴染なんだけど。けどですね。
Are they going to get together though? Or are they even going to be alive to be together in the end? Who knows?
付き合ってねえよ。当たり前だろ。あるわけねえよ。とりあえず場を和ませただけだ。
I don't necessarily know whether that's going to lighten Kotomi's mood or not, but okay. Oh my god.
とりあえず落ち着けって。
Oh my god, you are so rude. Holy fuck.
君は言っていいこととない。貴様が言ったのはダメなやつだ。
And then she just continues to call him a bastard. Okay then. Oh god.
ほら、何やってるんだ。みんな座れ。授業を始めるぞ。
先生。
なぜ若月は立っている？授業だぞ、座れ。
Oh god, yeah, she needs to before she gets in trouble.
田舎見もさ、サボるのはいいけど、授業の邪魔するなよ。
Yeah, fair enough.
はい。
That kind of feels like something that people would say at my school now. Oh, I see. If somebody totally changes, they really, really shouldn't. That's just a bit unfair. But then again, I mean, some teachers may not know that Yukito has changed from the fight he had at the first year. And if I'm going to be honest, I mean, there's... In some cases, if somebody has a fight, does it necessarily mean that they're changing? Because if somebody has a really bad fight and you immerse them in conditions that would make it so that they feel tempted to fight, they will lash out. But then if you make it so that they are not... Then if they choose not to hang out with people that are fighting, that would provoke them into fighting, though they may still be provoked into fighting because of the fact that they are not in a situation that would provoke them, they are not fighting. So it kind of gives you the illusion of the fact that you've changed. I like to think of the same thing about video games and anger management. If you have anger issues and you play video games, if you then stop playing video games, you may think that your anger management has got better, but that's just simply because of the fact that you're engaging yourself in fewer situations that make you angry. So as a result of that, your impression of how good you are at anger management is false. But then again, if you do this, maybe it could have a genuine effect. But I don't know, it's just always a concept that I found really, really unusual, because with stuff like this, it's kind of impossible to assess yourself. And it's interesting. That's just kind of what I think, though. But obviously there are some times where not exposing yourself to a certain thing that makes you angry, obviously, while you're not exposing yourself to it, you grow up. So then if you expose yourself to it again, maybe you'll be able to reinterpret it with a better light. But if you don't grow up, then sure, maybe it could just be a false impression of the fact that you've changed. And sometimes, ironically, false impressions when you have them and then you go back to said thing that makes you annoyed, yeah, it could be even worse. I just think it's so funny to think about the fact that out of everything that Yukito could fixate on how horrible Takuji has been to Yukito, he just totally... I think he just totally tries to distract the conversation just so that obviously there's no further arguments, and obviously everything is totally just taken out of context. Oh, gotta love female student A, probably one of the students that cares more about going to college and obviously the suicide's effects on college than the fact that a classmate of theirs, even though that classmate doesn't really talk to anyone, has fucking suicided. I mean, seriously, get your priorities right, man. And that's coming from me. I'm very isolated. And yeah, I can still say that. Yeah, no, I totally agree with Kotomi. That's so rude. And he really just has no representation whatsoever. But then again, I mean, he is a very deluded person who is against anything that forms the product of reality, and he feels humans are just infected by their souls and the belief that they are individuals and that they are special. So obviously, he feels by realising that he's gone to a higher consciousness, I'd assume. So obviously he thinks that everybody below him, he thinks that he is above all morale! And as a result of that, everybody below him should just... as Minakami Yuki said, well, it's taken a bit out of context, but the guy sending out all of this crap should just go kill himself. He's just thinking, these people should just go kill themselves, I wouldn't care. That's probably kind of how he feels. He's horrible, he really is. But then again, he's totally deluded and he doesn't even realise the fact that he's horrible. No, actually, I think he does realise. He just doesn't care because of the fact that these people were inferior, they're little, they're nothing to him. Wakatsuki. Oh, they totally do. Yeah, they do. Yeah. Yeah, fair.
授業を始めるぞ。前回は教科書の
Oh my god, I wonder if Yukito's gonna say anything about this.
アウグスティヌスの哲学的施策は西方教会にとどまらず、西洋思想全体に及んでいてだな。
This guy looks like someone who's very thrilled to do his job. He just looks like he is... Well... He looks like he has... He looks like he has so much emotion that if you looked at his face, you would just see a stone cold face with no signs of life. That's how emotionless this feels at the moment. He's just talking. Talking and talking.
先生。
Oh my god, are we going to see Takuji's speech here?
なんだお前。なんで立っている。
Can I just mention, are we going to see any CGs in this visual novel? Does this visual novel have CGs?
ずっと立ってましたよ。
Yeah, he has. And he's just totally forgotten about the fact that he's here. I don't really
ずっと
understand
立
that.
ってましたよ。名前もお忘れですか。
Or maybe it's because of the fact that he's hopeless to speak to. Or maybe the teacher knows that he is a very, very troubled person, so he doesn't want to stress him out.
名前。その席は。ああ、間宮か。
Oh! He doesn't even remember his name. That's hilarious.
やはり先生も低俗な人なのですね。
You really are one of the vulgar people, hmm? Yeah. No, totally. He's completely incompetent. I mean, I'm sorry, but... Well, then again, I mean, Takuji comes to so few lessons that it's impossible to remember the name of somebody like him. Yeah, and it is interesting that. What's vulgar about... I mean, incompetent, sure, but vulgar, surely that implies that you are societally unacceptable? You are dirty and you're sexual. That's what I would have thought he'd mean by vulgar. It's weird. Yeah, exactly, yeah. And now he is the centre of attention. Even beforehand, however, he was very, very shy. Yeah. Oh, yeah, totally.
なんか言ったか間宮。そもそもなんでまだ立っているんだ。今授業中だぞ。
授業は世界が終わるというの
Oh
に
god, here we go.
授業ですか。先生。
I love how disgustedly he said that.
間宮。お前。
世界が終わるというのになんて悠長な。日常バイアスとは恐ろしいものですね。ここまで人は鈍感になれるとは。
Wait, so is normalcy bias just the bias that everything is going to continue, like the uniformity principle? Fuck off, AI overview. People underestimate the likelihood of an impact of a disaster or other crisis. But what's the basis? Believe that everything will continue as normal and life will continue as normal, even in the face of significant threats. Okay, then that makes sense. Kind of reminds me of some... I don't know if I could say that actually, but yeah. Oh yeah, no, totally. I find it really quite interesting just to think about the fact that this is such an embarrassing situation. And if I'm going to be honest, I mean, even though the teacher's going to have a very hard time controlling the class here, he's kind of lucky that he forgot Takuji's name at a time like this, to be honest. Yeah, totally. It wouldn't make any difference. He really sounds like Tomosane. There. Mamiya Takuji! I just find it so funny how he says Mamiya Takuji! I'll show you exactly what I'm thinking of. I think I know where it is. Here we go. He said it a bit more funnily than I remembered it a bit more funnily than... I remember it being a bit more funny than it was. I'm disappointed. Mamiya Takuji! Yeah, no, totally reasonable. How can you ever say a word to this? That's really well put. Yeah, I see that. He is the spotlight of the show. Everybody else is just cast in the darkness. And it's kind of like a way of saying that Takuji, he is the person who has seen the light because of the fact that he is the person who has transcended all of what he feels as the limits of consciousness. But...
マミヤ、お前何言ってるんだ？世界の終わりだと。
何をですか？はあ、やはり真実が見えないのですね。
I get the... I don't really know if this would be similar in Japanese, but I just find it so funny that in the translation, it just really feels like Takuji's talking like a video game character. Or is that just me?
最近妙な噂が立っていて俺も迷惑しているんだ。くだらないこと言ってないで座れマミヤ。
くだらない。どちらがくだらないことを言ってると思っているのか。
なんだと？お前な、お前みたいなやつが教師に逆らってどうなるか分かってるのか
？God, he's really losing his shit. He's not threatening though. If anything, Takuji's more threatening here. If anything, he feels like he's scared. Or I feel like he's scared of Takuji.
低俗すぎて嬉しくなります。あなたのように包み隠さず、生徒に序列をつけるやり方、嫌いではありませんよ。
So actually, how does he mean a pecking order here? Because I've heard this phrase a bit, but I just wanna... Oh, yeah, that makes sense. So it's just a hierarchy of status. That makes sense.
序列なんてつけてないぞ。聞き捨てならんな、マミヤ。
I just find it so funny to think about just how much Takuji is being somebody who is totally pissing off the teacher here. And isn't it funny that he... Why does he not dislike it though? I don't really understand. If anything, surely he would have... I mean, it totally, if anything, goes against what we've learned in It's My Own Invention. Unless maybe there's going to be something else that changes it.
いやいや、いいんですよ。スクールカーストにおいて、底辺は相手に値せず。カースト上位にこびる。
Oh, now he's speaking things that are actually really, really reasonable. That's totally the case in my school. Oh my god. Yeah, totally, because the top ones make all the noise and the bottom ones are just made to sit there. I can totally speak from experience that that is true. No, there are some classes where there's just a few people at the top who always dominate the classroom. They're happy, so it's just as if the people that don't even matter and the people that are just silent and in the corner, i.e. your favourite visual novel reader. Yeah, they're just not worthy of attention whatsoever. Yeah, I can totally see that. It's an interesting way of analysing the situation.
だからお前少し黙れ
It feels like he has nothing to say because Takuji has just realised something that is the truth.
さすが世界史の教師だ。歴史なんて勝者が殴り書きしたざれ言に過ぎないのに。
That's interesting.
さらに言えば人間より高次元な存在。例えば神や悪魔と呼ばれるものが5秒前に作り出しただけなのかもしれないのに。
I do find it really interesting that he is thinking a lot of ideas just that Yukito has thought of as well. Oh my god, what's he gonna do?
どちらにしろ。
Wait, why is he approaching him? What? What's he doing? Is he gonna fight him? That's what I want to know. But surely the past shapes the present, and it shapes how the present is going to move forward? But to be fair, the past never exists in the present. I see that. The present is changed as a result of the past, but the past doesn't directly exist within the present. But surely how the past has changed the present is why the past is relevant? But to be fair, I'm sure there is a lot of history that is made up, but people can never know because of the fact that they simply can't go back to that time. Ah, so that's what he's doing, right. Yeah, there's no saving someone like this. How can you save the savior?
いい加減にしろマミヤとりあえず俺と来い
Oh my god, yeah, that's interesting.
歴史が作り話なわけがないだろうそれにその世界の終わりというのは何だ最近生徒たちが怯えているがお前がその噂を立てていたのか
There's no way history is all fictional. You're actually just using your bias of the world as you know it in order to explain, in order to completely nullify a world, a viewpoint that is actually kind of logical. I mean, I'm sorry, but there is no way that something like that can justify what Takuji said. You've got to have an unbiased claim. Not a claim that is completely biased by the person who feels he knows the real world because of the fact that he's lived in it. Isn't that interesting? Oh, never mind.
真実だと
あなたは弱い人間だ。小さい人間だ。だから、大いなる存在の僕を見ることができない。小さなアリは像を認識することができない。
Jesus Christ.
小さなアリにとって象は大地のような存在だ。同じようにあなたのような小さきものに僕など見ることができるわけもない。
I mean, I can kind of see what Takuji's thing. I can't see perceiving, but I can see understanding. Sure. I mean, Takuji's emotions and obviously his life and everything that has led him to a point of being this awful. Of course, it is something that people would never really be able to perceive at a glance without fully understanding him.
いいからちょっと職員室まで来い。
Oh god, you're gonna get properly told off. But it's a very serious reason why. It makes sense.
理屈で勝てないから暴力で来るのですか。
Oh wait, oh yeah. Does violence still exist in schools in 1999? What? The fuck? Corporal punishment has been banned for about 140 years since the Education Ordinance of 1879. What? How? That's so... what? Yeah, they've consistently, since the Meiji era, school education statuses have consistently prohibited corporal punishment. That's ridiculous. I was really not expecting that. If anything, I've heard Japan has some very questionable laws about, well, let me just say, porn-related subjects that people sometimes make fun of and just comment on because of how weird they are. And just the fact that there were some things that have been banned at such late times. So, I don't know, I just kind of assumed that there would be a similar trend for this. I'm just so surprised that physical punishment in schools, or corporal punishment as it's named, has been banned for so long. That's properly surprising. So, I mean, I don't really think he's going to use violence, but he will probably tell him off. And I suppose violence doesn't have to be just physical, it could be mental as well. Oh my god, that's hilarious, just how audibly scared he is of Takuji. Hi! Mamiya's eyes open wide. His bloodshot eyeballs seem to glint an illusory crimson. I like that, yeah. Isn't it interesting that they're just totally bloodshot? I really do wonder, do people's eyes go bloodshot when they don't have much sleep? Yeah, when tired. Dude, fuck off, sponsor, search yourself. Yeah, tiredness commonly leads to dry red eyes. Interesting. God damn. Interesting. You know what, I'll tell you what, I'm just going to give my eyes a rest for a sec. There we are, that's better. Hmm. Totally reasonable. The fuck? Oh shit. Oh, okay. Yeah. That makes sense. And then we realise that Takuji is not only a psychopath in terms of how he mentally manipulates people, but how he physically hurts people too.
No.
Oh my god. Oh, this is scary. Isn't it interesting that this is where this originally comes from? Oh, wow. Isn't that interesting? I like it. This is very ominous, the theme that has been introduced here. Yeah, God, he could have fucking killed him, you little psychopath. It's horrible. Dude, you didn't need to kill my ears. I get that you're scared, but like, just have a bit of restraint. Yeah. Why are you saying it so comfortingly? It's as if nothing has even happened. How can you be so out of touch of reality that you don't even realise that hurting somebody is going to make people fearful? Yeah, totally. Is Takuji going to be really strong here? Maybe you might not be able to. No, don't, because someone might die if you do. God, he's that scary. Fucking hell. I mean, if I'm going to be honest, the teacher wasn't doing anything bad whatsoever. He was just trying to have a lesson. Takuji is in the wrong entirely in this situation, but the only thing is he's gained so much control that it doesn't even matter that he's in the wrong and he's totally doing something that could be considered... Well, you could attribute to nothing... You could attribute the description of nothing other than awful. Yeah.
Mamiya, teme!
Oh my god. Yeah, Yukito's not scared, it seems. Yeah, seriously. Oh god, that's something that is going to really hit him. Well, the only thing is, I mean, he's not thick with fear, and if anything, I feel like from the narration that has been going on, he's been giving a very, very neutral outlook rather than... I mean, he's been giving a neutral outlook, but at the same time, and obviously an indication of the fact that people are very scared of Takuji, but it's a very objective narration rather than a narration completely characterized with fear. I don't think this person is... He's scared, sure, but at the same time, he's not so scared that he can't do anything. I think it's inaccurate to say that, like all of these poor lambs, his heart is thick with fear. But then again, I mean, I think fear and a lack of ability to... Well, a lack of desire to know people, maybe that's why he was respected.
誰も陰口を叩かないんだい。なぜ僕が一人だと皆が僕の陰口を叩くんだい？
One's a schizo and one's not. That might help.
知らねえよそんなことは。
ダメだよ。今度障害を起こしたら退学だって。
Fucking hell, he really is on his last legs. Yeah, he really is driven to violence, but I don't blame him. I mean, if anything, Takuji is being so awful here, and he's... I mean, this teacher is just trying to do his job. Did he deserve to be hit? Did he deserve anything happening to him? He just deserves to have a class. He doesn't deserve any of this, and he's making the atmosphere around everybody so awful as well. And not only is he doing that, but he's entirely belittling the subject that this guy is trying to teach. Probably the subject that he's dedicated his entire life to and is really passionate about. But also, he's imposing his beliefs and his views. And he's also encouraging the rumours of the fact that the world is going to end. I mean, I really can't blame this guy for being physical. I can't. I mean, if anything, I feel like if I was in this situation... Well, I mean, to be fair, I'm not really... It's not that I'm not physically strong. I am a bit, but I just don't really know combat because I just don't see a need. So I wouldn't step in because of that. But I try to win using logic, to be honest. Like, if I could talk to people, that is. That's a bit of a problem.
小さき人間は小さき範囲で序列を作りたがるものだ。君と僕は変わらない存在なのに、君はこのクラスで王となり、僕は奴隷となった。
Yeah, and isn't it interesting, just hints of trauma from bullying, or just hints of somebody being very affected by bullying. Hints of a damaged person. Yeah, but I see that. Yeah. Nobody talks about Taku. But then again, why is it the case that Takuji even knows who is talked behind each other's back? He is the most isolated guy. He just jerks off in his in his room in the foundations for the new school building. Okay, I'm just joking, but like what I'm trying to say, well, he does jerk off there. He quite literally jerks off in school. But what I'm trying to say is that he is very isolated, so how does he know when people talk behind their back or not? Or maybe this Takuji is a bit less isolated than the one we saw before, I don't know. Well, I think it's because of the fact that Yukito is obviously somebody who is respected, he's feared, and also he's somebody that not really many people can make fun of things about. I feel like if people know Takuji's mental instability and they have seen evidence of the fact that he has some sort of DID related thing happening, I'm sure it's the case that they will treat him with a different light as to somebody like Yukito who they know is normal. Maybe it's a hint of jealousy here. Yeah, you can't use logic, so you use violence because of the fact that violence clouds your logic. That's interesting. But I can totally see this, yeah. How do you know that Yukito's the king? What about the bullies? And, for example, the people who had total control of Zakuro? Well, then again, I mean, you don't have to be popular to be a bully. I just find it really ironic that in Looking Glass Insect's true ending, when Megu and Satoko were no longer relevant and they'd no longer bullied Zakuro, they were just together. Nobody liked them. Nobody wanted to go near them. The only reason they were significant whatsoever was because of the fact that people were feared. They ruled through fear. Nobody liked them whatsoever. Most disgusting people. They really are. How people can be as inhumane as Megu and Satoko is just genuinely something I'm impressed about. Like, how it's even possible.
Oh, お前何見てるんだ?
Fair. The king, are you tripping or something?
俺は単にクラスから浮いてるだけだろ.
Yeah, I'm just an outcast, nothing more.
いや、クラスの連中は君を怖がっているよ。あの凶悪な小沢を気絶するまで殴った人間だから。
That's really interesting. Because if anything, this is what Takuji did in, Takuji, Tomosane did in, Yuki Tomosane rather than Mamiya Tomosane did in, we first saw it in Jabberwocky 1. Yeah, and he's so afraid of it. And it's interesting to think about the fact that Takuji, he feels as if him beating Ozawa to a pulp is a means of gaining respect, and it's something that he feels is admirable.
Hora, よくよくみんなの反応を見てごらんよ。すべての生徒が君に依附している。
そうじゃなくて、単にこいつらはめんどくさいから関わりたくないだけで。
It could be, and you'd really hope it would be, but let's be honest, fear is probably something. I just find it really interesting because you have two people who are the most feared within the classroom, and they're going up against each other.
けど、今はその王よりも僕を皆が依附している。
王じゃねえよ。俺は単に。
Yeah, I don't blame him. Yeah, exactly. It's not something that... He's not a king of a classroom. If anything, like he said, he's just a total outcast. Yeah, he may be feared, sure, but at the same time, if you're feared, it doesn't necessarily mean that you're respected. And if anything, fear sometimes leads to false respect with, for example, people who will go unnamed, i.e. Mamiya Takuji. Yeah, totally, yeah. Yeah, but the only thing is, I mean, Yukito's sane, whether... Yukito is someone who's sane, and he has a right moral... Well, he has right morals, but Takuji, obviously, he wants to make everybody's life more scary and more unsettling, and just in general, more difficult to live. Yeah, God, it's tricky. Oh, we do get CGs, okay. Oh, God.
世界は20日で終わる。これは紛れもない真実だ。小沢の死も、高島の死も、すべてそのためである。
Dude, Ozawa literally overdosed on drugs, and you're saying he died for this truth. Okay, then. Well, it was fate or something ridiculous like that. Oh, yeah, God did it, obviously. Yeah, it is interesting, that. Yeah. And he's found the reason for his existence.
世界はあと5日で終わる。しかし、それは兆しに過ぎない。世界が生まれ変わるための。救われない者は古い世界と共に永久に地獄の豪華に焼かれるのだ。未来永劫に続く苦しみだ。皆知っているだろう。世界が嘘で満ちているのを。愚者は平等という。しかし皆知っている。世界が
It's
平等
exactly
で
the
ない
same
こと。
as Sibahibi.
いや、他ならぬ。お前たちがこんな小さな空間で人間に優劣をつけていた。
You're bound by a hierarchy, but that doesn't necessarily mean that the hierarchy takes place for everybody in the world because of the fact that it has discrepancies. I see that. I just find it really interesting to talk about why Yukito feels as if he's not really that similar to Takuji because of the fact that he is the king of the classroom in a way, because if he did what Takuji was doing, because of the fact that people have such an impression of him that's characterized by fear, he would be able to get their attention and be able to gain everything that is significant to them. And I just find it so interesting because this is not necessarily something he's intended to do. I mean, it's just because of the fact that he's had a fight with an old friend. He doesn't want to become the king of the classroom. Not like Takuji, who feels he has information that he needs to spread.
愚者は自由という。しかし、皆知っている。世界に自由がないことを。だからお前らはくだらない学校の勉強を強要されている。なぜならば、無責任な自由の教授とは、社会においては転落を意味するからだ。
It is interesting the subtle differences, though.
愚者は愛という。しかし皆知っている。愛が人を裏切ることを。いつでも三次元は我々を裏切ってきた。愚者は人を殺すなという。しかし皆知っている。数えきれないほど多くを殺した者が英雄として歴史に刻ま
I
れる
like
こと。
that. I actually really like that. I think that's better than what was proposed in Sibahibi.
愚者は嘘をつくなという。しかし皆知っている。愚者こそが嘘つきであることを。
Oh yeah, I like that.
嘘つきであるからこそ愚者であることを。 愚者の嘘を鵜呑みにした者はバカを見る。
Fair.
平等など信じ、自らの地位からはみ出した行為をすれば、社会は平気で我々を切り捨てる。自由は素晴らしいという者がいるが、自由ほどうさんくさいものはない。それを叫ぶ輩にまともな者がいるだろうか。
I don't really think you can say the words sound mind.
愛が素晴らしいという。だが成就しない愛は一方的なものとみなされ、その言葉を告白した者は
Oh yeah, I
まる
like
で汚
that.
物を見るかのような視線にさらされる。
That's really well put.
また相思相愛ですら、多くの者が長く連れ
Sometimes
添
it
うこ
doesn't
とも
though.
なく破局する。マスメディアで祝福された結婚がどれほど長く続くか。くだらない
Fair.
ゴシップが好きなお前らならばよく知るところだろう。
Oh my god, I love that. Yeah. That sounds like a lot of i.e. female student ABC.
なぜ殺してはならないか。街は人で溢れている。そしてそれは国境を越えてあまねく大地にまで溢れ出ているではないか。不思議だと思わないのか。大地を埋め尽くすように生えてくる民族の束。誰一人この世界に存在する人間の正しい数など把握できないほどだ。それぞれがうようよと動き、愚鈍な人生で一生を終える。確実に無意味で愚鈍で生きる価値もない、そんな生を受け入れている。街を見よう。今も無数の無意味な生き物どもがうごめいている。仕事やら勉強やら、その本質を考えるなど追随することなく、ただ与えられたことを繰り返し続ける。そんな生に価値があるのか。なぜそんな人間を殺してはならないのか。
Tell that to
い
court.
や、正しくは人は殺してはいけないわけではない。
That is
人
fair.
は殺してもよいのだ。この国においては死刑がある。国がその名において人を殺すのだ。そして戦争がある。戦争とは殺した分だけ名誉となる日常。
Yeah. No, I see that.
我々が信じる世界の常識とあべこべではないか。
Yeah, totally, yeah.
なぜ我々の日常では殺人が許されないか。簡単なことだ。単に国が戸籍という名の番号で管理しているからに過ぎない。国家は国家の名において家畜である国民を管理する。殺人とはその管理を乱す行為でしかない。また戦争とは国家において戸籍を消費して敵を打ち破ること。
Yeah, totally, yeah. And if anything, to make their country something that will have less potential risk by fighting the enemies. So if anything, they're sacrificing people of the country in order to make it so that their country has more prosperity in the future, possibly.
世界でただ雑多にうごめく人間にそもそも価値などない。そのことを国家が一番よく知っているのだ。 だから支配者は自分の都合で戸籍の名前を消費して戦争を始める。これが真実だ。ならば逆に我々が信じる
Yeah, your
日常的
truth.
常識とは何か。汝殺すなかれ、汝会員するなかれ、汝盗むなかれ、汝その隣人に対して偽りの証を立つるなかれ、汝その隣人の家を貪るなかれ、また汝の隣人の妻を寝取るな。これら一切の道徳的なもの、そして法律的なもの、嘘なのだ。すべては嘘であったのだ。日常とは嘘で塗り固められた虚構にしか過ぎない。
That's really
その
interesting.
ような虚構はもろく簡単に崩れ去るだろう。今まさにその時が来ようとしている。世界がこれからずっと今までのようにあるか。なぜそんな簡単な嘘に惑わされるのだ。今まであったものが同じようにこれからもあり続けることなどありえようか。疑惑を持て。そしてその疑惑の目から真実を見つめろ。しからばわかるであろう。我々が前に踏み出そうとするその先はすでに奈落なのだ。この終わりなき苦痛たる日常は終わる。世界は終わる。確実に終わる。これが真実なのだ。そのことだけをお前たちに告げに私はここに来たのだ。幸いかな、羊の群れよ。
God, what a line! Oh my god. Wow.
羊飼いは安住の地にお前たちを導くであろう。
Oh, that's interesting.
間宮
Is he going to follow him or what? Yeah, oh yeah, totally, yeah. I think that's a good place to wrap it up today. That was really quite cool, the ending. Oh wait, I'm not going to do anything here. But anyway, yeah, I enjoyed that. That was really quite good as well, the ending. And I think it's really quite surprising just to think about how the speech Takuji does actually differs to everything that we've seen before. And I like how the plot is very similar to that of Tsubahibi, but at the same time, there are core things that just make it worth a read, really. There are things that make it differ, and I like the character of Yukito. I think Yukito's a really good character, honestly, and I love how he contemplates stuff, and I really do like how he's somebody who has had a very bad mistake that's happened, but at the same time he's very normal. He's very normal, he's not really that troubled, and he's very realistic as well. And it's really interesting how he's so level-headed, which I think is very interesting in order just to explain these situations, because you have such ridiculous and absurd things that are going on, and yet at the same time you have somebody who's really level-headed giving a running commentary about what is going on. So it's quite cool. It really is, and I do wonder how everything's going to begin now, because now Takuji's begun being a psychopath. We're really going to begin just to see everything escalate. And I really do wonder how this chapter's going to progress. I really do, because I think we're getting into the meat of the story. We really are. See you guys next time.